Hello there, and welcome to the Our Time Film Podcast, where we talk film, TV, games, and all that jazz like there's no tomorrow. This week, we're talking about Fast and Furious 9, as well as Loki
Yes.
Episode 3, and the latest news of the week. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, John. I can tell you're excited about Fast and Furious straight away.
Yes. But I'm excited to talk about it, but it's just the film itself. It's a film, definitely.
Yeah,
But yeah,
cautiously excited.
yes. But I'm also excited to talk about Loki. So yeah,
Right,
yeah.
interesting. Well, let's get straight into it, shall we? Let's
Yes.
not dilly-dally any moment more, and let's talk about some Shazam
Mm.
news. We got our first like proper look at all the Shazam suits for the Shazam family from the director, I believe, on Instagram. Did you see this picture of all the Shazam actors?
Yes, I did. It looks great. I feel like who was the character who didn't have like a very proper Shazam costume? I remember one character in the first Shazam, but now she's got a better one. I forgot the
Oh,
one, but she's
yeah.
on the far right.
Right, Mary Marvel. Right, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
she in the first one, she is played by an adult. Obviously, like the kid version becomes the adult, whereas this time the superhero and the kid are played by the same person.
Oh.
Because apparently the idea is that the kid has grown up enough. So it's the same person actually for that one. So she doesn't
Oh.
turn older or anything.
Oh. So is that? Oh. Okay. That's
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah. Because in the comics, Billy Baxton is a child, and then he's Shazam. So it
Yeah.
is that. As they get older, are they going to be the same person, or
That's a
you
good
know?
question. It's a
That's a
good
good question,
question.
actually.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because she is obviously considerably older than the rest of the kids. She was going to college, I believe, in the first film, and now she's
Yes.
like actually like the hero. And I don't think it's gonna mean that people will know her identity. I think the idea will still be that her identity is kept hidden. But I am interested. I don't really
Yeah.
know what this means.
That's really cool thinking about, like having as they older, they're the same person. I like that. I like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah,
So
so the
yeah,
suits themselves, they're a lot darker. The colors are a lot darker. What do
yeah,
you think about this?
yeah. I like it. It's a bit more, broader. A bit more suit suitable.
It's a bit more
Yeah.
suitable.
I mean, no.
Suits
Well,
suitable. Suits. Wow, it's a right knee slapper for you there.
oh, it's a knee slapper right there.
Woohoo. Yeah, well, there's
Yeah,
like a lot more, there's definitely a lot more detailing on it, like some more patterns,
yeah,
but it is
yeah,
darker, and I think I will miss the brighter colors. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, yeah,
But it depends what kind of maybe they want to go for a darker tone.
yeah. Well, like what's the film getting into? What with the costumes and having that white atmosphere for the with the thing, because you can't have like a clown in a very dark film. I mean, yeah, Joker, but I mean, if it's like a
Yeah, they might be going for something, that won't fit those really big. And obviously last time there was a lot of like especially for Zachary Levi, there was a lot of padding on the suit. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
yeah, I
like a
see
lot of
that, yeah,
like a lot of padding, making it look bulkier, but I think it looked a little bit more lean, a little bit more natural this time round.
yeah, yeah. I really like that.
Yeah, same. So we also got another trailer for Suicide Squad as well. So in this one we kind of get a little bit more around Bloodsport, who's Idris Elba's character, and I guess maybe the main kind of character of the film. Get a little bit of the details of like his involvement. And I think it's interesting that he has a daughter and he's kind of fighting for her. I think that's very interesting because that is very similar to Deadshot in the original Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I I feel like that's going to be a bit more insight to a character that we don't really know, but
Yeah.
uh, hopefully it's not going to be like the same. But it's the daughter who's looking up, for
Hmm.
at her father because you can tell they have a very strong relationship. And what's his name? I forgot the name of it. It just his character.
The Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. So that's going to be interesting
Bloodsport.
because he in the trailer, Amanda Waller said that he shot Superman
Yes.
with the kryptonite bullet. So that's got me perplexed because we were just talking about this the other day, and we were thinking, wait, which Superman? But now James Gunn has confirmed that he doesn't know which Superman is going to be referring to. But yeah, I'm wondering where this is going. But
I mean,
I like how the trailer. Oh, sorry.
Gone.
I like how the trailer you can see a lot more of the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like in the previous marketing, it's felt like we've only got, we've only seen kind of like Bloodsport, Peacemaker, Harley Quinn, Ratcatcher, Polka Dot Man, and King Shark. I feel like in this trailer we get a little bit more from the other members of the squad, get a little bit of Savant and Javelin and stuff like that. So that
Yeah.
and the Thinker, Peter Capaldi, cannot wait for that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's interesting about the Superman thing. I'd love it for it to be Henry, I feel like in my heart I want it to be Henry Cavill because he is the Superman in this universe, or is supposed to be. But I
Yeah.
don't. I think they're moving away from it. I think they're seemingly wanting to introduce a new Superman. They're seemingly wanting to push the Snyderverse out, and I don't think that there's going to be much room for um the old stuff anymore, apart from
Yeah. But I'm
certain cast
hoping,
members.
yeah, I'm hoping they're going to continue with it as well. We do see a lot more mise en sense with the style,
Mm.
especially with Harley Quinn. So if you see that bit with
Yes.
Harley Quinn, like the
It looks
flowers.
yeah, it looks like Harley Quinn's kind of visual style is moving over from Birds of Prey. Obviously, Birds of Prey has loads of like, Harley Quinn kind of like if Harley Quinn did Deadpool, loads of like animated sequences and like really over the top things. And it seems this is carrying over, which I think is great.
Yeah, I'm also you would expect to see like characters have their own style on screen, like that would like bring out the the how about that, how unique that character is, like Harley
Yeah.
Quinn. You could have like a Bloodsport one. I
Hmm.
feel like they're gonna have that own style to that on the screen, and I feel like it's not gonna be clustered, which I really like because
Yeah,
uh
it feels like it's going to be well balanced.
yeah, especially the tagline of the film, don't get attached to these characters or what
Right,
James Gunn said.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Don't get too attached. That is, yeah, 100%. And I feel like there's a scene in the trailer where they talk about Weasel and one of the characters, I can't remember his name, Pete Davidson's character freaks out because he thinks he might be a werewolf. And it's interesting because like they all kind of have like different yet similar kind of views on certain things. I'm really
Yeah.
excited to see people like
Yeah.
Polka Dot Man who looks just like so like silently crazy,
Yeah. And just gonna be he's gonna be like the relatable character, like
Mm,
well, but I don't
yeah,
know. But we never know. But I am interested.
me too. I mean,
Nathan Fillion's character as well.
yes.
TD,
Is he arm fall off boy? We'll never know.
I I'm so confused about that character because what does he do?
We'll
Does he
never know.
throw arms? Or
Does he throw? Maybe he does. Maybe that's his whole thing. I mean, that it's very interesting that they specifically decided to keep that hidden. So I reckon it's something to look forward to in the film
is he
itself.
going to be like a very OP character at the end of the film or something? But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited for this film.
me
It looks
too.
great.
I mean, James Gunn did wonders of Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's great to see him step over to the DC side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when's that coming out?
August, early August. I think
Yes,
I think
early
like the
August.
no, maybe not second. Um,
17th?
oh no, 30th of July.
What?
Yeah, 30th of July. Yeah, yeah, I
We
know.
need a month.
Yeah, see, honestly, it makes me so sad. I'm gonna be on holiday
Oh
for the first
no.
week of the release, so I won't get to watch it until I come back, and then obviously we'll do an episode of the podcast.
Uh,
But you know what's great about the Suicide Squad coming out?
yes.
We're gonna be doing a 2016 Suicide Squad extended edition on the podcast.
Oh boy.
Literally recording it next week. I am so excited to tear
Yeah.
this film to shreds, and you've never seen it before, which is even better. Are you
Yeah.
excited?
No.
Why
Oh
not?
no. Anyway.
Anyway, our
Uh.
next piece of news is something that I am really excited for. We got a
Oh.
trailer for Shang-Chi.
Yes. This
Oh
trailer was
man.
unexpected. Right. So, let's get things out of the way before we can talk about this huge thing that just happened. So, we see a lot more the backbone of the story of Shang-Chi.
Well, first of all, I just wanna say, why have we not got a Spider-Man trailer yet? Come on, guys. I want a Spider-Man trailer. Okay, continue.
Uh, really, you want a Spider-Man trailer?
I want to
I'm
know
not
what's
even
happening, John. I'm
okay.
scared.
Chill.
I'm
I'm
scared,
not even
John.
excited for a Spider-Man trailer for anything because we know it's going to be cluttered. We know it's going to
Yes,
be.
we do. But I love Oh my God, guess what I bought? You'll be so happy.
Wait, Spider-Man Life Story.
Yes.
Yes.
I've got
Oh
so
my
many
god.
things to read though. Don't expect me to read it anytime soon. But I've got it. It's in
Oh,
my house. It's ready for consumption. Anyway,
oh my
please,
god.
Shang-Chi, continue.
Bring tissues. Sorry. Okay.
I will
So
bring tissues. I always have tissues. Don't worry.
okay, so we see the backbone of the story. We
Mm.
get given a lot more about Shang-Chi,
I'm happy we
about
haven't seen too much from the Mandarin yet.
yes.
I mean, we've seen a little
I
bit,
feel like
here and there, but I really want to,
Guy
kind of
Pearce
see
just
him.
comes out and going, I
I
am the
am the
Mandarin.
Mandarin. He's got his
Just walks.
dragon tattoos on his chest. Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, that would be
God,
hilarious.
that would be so good. No,
Guy.
honestly, obviously at the end of this trailer, obviously we get the big kind of Abomination and what looks like
Yes.
Wong, but
Yeah.
I would love for them to bring back Trevor.
Oh my god. Yes.
Trevor,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
My name's Trevor Slattery. I'm an actor. Don't shoot the fake. He is honestly, I love him so much in Iron Man 3. I want to, because obviously there's the Marvel one shot where Trevor gets like taken by the Mandarin.
Oh.
By the real Mandarin. Have you seen it? It's called All Hail the King.
No.
Yeah, well, early phase 2, they did like Marvel one shots, which were like 5-10 minute shorts. And this one, Trevor is in prison and he gets like interviewed, and then the interviewer turns out to be working for the real Mandarin. And at the end of the short, Trevor gets taken by the real Mandarin. This was like 2013 when this was made, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it
Oh.
came on like the Thor: The Dark World Blu-ray, right? So
Yeah.
technically, in canon, Trevor is with the Mandarin right now.
Oh my god.
What does
He
that
is?
mean? They
Wait.
could bring Ben Kingsley back. I would love that so much.
I feel like he's gonna make a scene in there, or something that goes on.
I'd love a post-credit scene with him in it.
Yeah, he'll
That'd
just
be
go,
great.
guys. I'm no longer the actor. I am the Mandarin.
I am the Mandarin. Yeah, we need the Mandarin to yell, I am the Mandarin at some point.
I mean,
It
come on,
has to
Guy
happen.
Pearce. Imagine Guy Pearce. Oh my god, he's gonna be in a flashback scene or something.
Oh my
I am the
God.
Mandarin.
Oh, I can't tell you. If they connected Shang-Chi to Iron Man 3, I would be so happy.
I mean, yeah,
Iron Man
that'd be
3
great.
is one of my favorite MCU films. I think it's so underrated.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
Iron
it.
Man 3 is so underrated.
I
Like,
love it so much.
like
It's got Don Cheadle
we'll
in
talk
it.
about Iron Man
What can
3.
you
We'll
can't
talk
go
about
wrong.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah, one day we'll cover Iron Man 3, maybe before Armor Wars or the Ironheart thing. Who knows? Anyway, Shang-Chi. I can't
Abomination.
wait, man.
It looks amazing.
Honestly, Bill Pope doing all the cinematography, all the action scenes, all the colors look so cool.
And
Everything
refreshing.
has,
And
yeah,
refreshing
right?
as well.
It doesn't seem to have any kind of color wash on it. And I know that's not saying much because MCU trailers in the past have had color and then the films have been washed out of color, But for what we're seeing right now, it looks like it has so much color, so much style, like all the action scenes seem different and kinetic. And it's taking so much like inspiration from Hong Kong like cinema. It
Yeah.
sounds so, it just looks so cool. And obviously the big thing at the end of the trailer is Abomination versus Wong. I think
Bruh.
that I mean awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, when's that coming out? November or no, September? August?
September, early September. I know that
That'll be fine.
much. September
That'll be
3rd. Yeah, 3rd September.
no, that's fine because I don't go back to that day, so that'll be a nice day to go and see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. It looks like I mean, obviously we already knew that Abomination was gonna be in She-Hulk. Is gonna be in
Yes,
She-Hulk.
yes.
Um,
Oh, I'm
but
wondering. Wait. Here's the real
yeah,
question:
go on.
will Tim Roth reprise as?
Well, Tim Roth is gonna be in She-Hulk, so I wonder he might be in it.
Hmm.
Who
Yeah,
knows? That'd be
yeah.
great.
Or imagine there was like a flashback scene with Ed Norton. Okay, I'm getting too far.
What?
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
amazing. Honestly, they should make Incredible Hulk like a scroll thing. I don't know how they would do that, but I think that would be so fun.
Oh no, you know what'd be really cool? Like, we just found out that the Hulk was a scroll this whole entire time,
Well, in Endgame, yes.
but
But
we don't know. We don't know.
yeah,
But
well, obviously, and I don't know if this is confirmed, but I think it looks like Abomination's fighting Wong.
yeah,
Obviously it looks like Abomination has evolved. He's greener. He's got like the ears and like the fins. Looks like more like in the comics. And now this is a wild bit of speculation, John. Are you sitting down?
yes,
Right. So Simu Lee, who obviously plays Shang-Chi, tweeted about the trailer. It gets even better. Trust. And I'm gonna give you a really, really wild bit of speculation here. But if he's saying that it gets even better, and
okay,
obviously the Abomination is in a cage fight, right?
yeah.
Who else is a cage fighter in Marvel?
Wolverine.
Right? What if Wolverine's in it? I know that's ridiculous. I know that's like so far,
Okay,
but that
that's
would be
that's a bit too
amazing.
far.
That would be amazing. I would be so happy if he did that.
Okay, uh, that
Oh
is a
no.
wild speculation,
Yeah,
but
speculate responsibly, ladies and gents.
I but
Only a cameo.
here's
I'm
the thing
saying
though.
like, you know,
Here's the thing though. When was okay? No. When was Logan set?
2029, I think. And the MCU is currently in 2023. When
Yeah.
is Logan set? Yeah, 2029. So like, but I don't think they would do, I think they do a new Logan, obviously. Um,
Maybe. Oh, maybe it's like Logan nearly old. Like you can see the little bit of gray.
mm.
Mm.
Well, that is if
Mm.
they want to bring back Hugh Jackman and connect it to the
But
X-Men
but
films. But
Tom, he's gone. He won't. But
no, no, he's not. He'll come back. He'll come back in the heat of battle. No,
yes,
they're gonna have a real field day when it comes to recasting Wolverine.
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Shall we talk about Loki in terms speaking of
Yes,
MCU
yes.
things?
Let's talk about Loki. I feel like we've got a lot of Marvel to talk about. So yeah.
We do. So, Loki episode 3, Lamentis. What do you think?
Yes. Lamentis was okay. So first of all, it was a dump of exposition, which I really like because there wasn't a lot of action to delve into, but there
Mm,
was a bit of it at the end. But
mm.
I really liked seeing the character in interaction with Sylvie and Loki, and you know how they
Yes.
differ and how they talk about their experiences with their mother, each of their mothers, and it really impacted of seeing a different Loki or Sylvie, how they work their own way, what their goal is, and it's very interesting to see that. I really like that one. Yeah.
I totally agree. I think, the best parts of this episode were, the scenes, spoilers, by the way, the scenes on the train, where they're just, or the scenes where they're walking and talking about, you know, how they are
Yeah.
similar and different as Loki's, how, and I think taking a breath to get to know Sylvie is really, really good idea, especially in terms of like the character. However, I do have to say, in terms of plot, I'm a little bit confused because this seems to be just a pointless side quest that isn't going to take the plot anywhere. And obviously, it's taking the characters places, which is a good thing. But if it isn't impacting the plot, then what's the like I feel like they should be both be complementing each other. It's not, they were literally right in front of the door to take them to the timekeepers, and now we're doing this little side quest thing. I'm sure the side quest will become more relevant, but for now, it kind of just feels like we're just kind of filling time. We've got 6 episodes. Let's fill time before we have to, in terms of the plot, because I think the character work in this episode was really, really strong. I like how they're stranded on like a different planet. The planet could have been more interesting, I guess. Definitely, I liked seeing the civilization at the end and some of the train, but for a lot of it, it was just them walking around kind of like gravel quarries with like a purplish tint and a couple of meteors.
Yeah.
It wasn't completely, engaging the whole time. And the character work was great, but I feel like it could have had more plot relevance.
Yeah. But it's definitely not a filler episode, but I feel like it's a
No.
bridge. It's a bridge
Yeah.
to the second act, which I believe, because Tom Hiddleston said that episode 4 is the things where things get started. I think that's what he said. So
Well, I mean, there's 6 episodes in total. So we're
yeah,
halfway through at this point. So, I hope that we kind of get more to kind of sink our teeth into. But I'm worried because 6 episodes, you know, it's not easy to because like, there's a lot to do in such a small, span of time. And, if you think about where Falcon and Winter Soldier was at this point, things seemed a lot more established. Obviously, WandaVision had 9 episodes, but Falcon and Winter Soldier, by the time you got to the end of episode 3, they got Zemo out. John Walker has begun his kind of path. The stakes with the super soldier serum and the power broker and the flag smashers. Everything has been established, and as has the journey of Bucky and Sam. Everything is set in motion pretty much from the get-go. But episode 3, we know everything, but I feel like we still don't know a lot about Loki. I
yeah,
still don't really know where Loki's going as a character. Don't really know what Sylvie's deal is. The Time Bureau is the Time Variance Authority is
TV.
TVA is surrounded in mystery still, and I don't want it to be like WandaVision where we get drip fed the answers. Um,
Yeah,
I want to be able to see the character development in relation to the plot.
yeah, and yeah, it doesn't really have any impact to the show, but I really want to see some really game changing stuff like with Loki.
Mm.
But I feel like this is going to be a WandaVision thing again.
I
Because
hope not, man, because
I hope not.
I think this show is stronger than WandaVision
Yeah,
in
way stronger in
in a
terms
lot of
of
the
like,
character work.
yeah, and in terms of the concept, it's just a way better concept that
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept, but I don't want them to waste that. They introduced there's like a whole like mystery about the TVA that all the people who work for the TVA are variants, which I think is very interesting. But because we are totally isolated from the TVA this whole time, we don't see, we don't see how the TVA workers react to that. We don't see, any of the emotions that would come with that, or again, what the deal, what the reaction of the timekeepers is to any of this. So I'm just kept wondering, and with WandaVision, we were kept wondering for so long, and then where it went with it was so disappointing. And I just hope this show, I really hope it picks up in so many ways.
Yeah, and yeah, it's yeah. I just don't know what to say more about the episode, but I did like the color palette of it. It just fits. It's different.
I really like the civilization they end up in at the end.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
city,
yeah,
I would have loved it if the whole episode was in that city, because it was a very interesting place.
yeah,
Alien civilizations and all.
yeah. But I did really like the camera work at the end of it. When Loki and Sylvie are like fighting through what they're doing. Uh,
Mm.
it's just very engaging to look at, very refreshing. But
I agree.
yeah, but then the episode ends and you go, what was that episode? So
Yeah, it was a
yeah,
very abrupt end. I'm not really sure why it ended like that. And I hope that we don't spend the rest of the next episode on Lamentis one. I hope that we instead jump around a little bit. There's still a lot of things, that I'd like to see explored. Like, they haven't really played around with time travel yet, and I'd really like
they
to see
haven't
them.
really.
Obviously, that we have seen time travel, but I feel like they could have a lot more fun with Earth. So in the same way they did DB Cooper in the first episode, they could have loads of fun with like the Earth's timeline. You know, I would love to see some of the stuff that the show has talked about. I'd love to see them go back to Ragnarok. Stuff like that, I think, would be really compelling.
Mm. Yeah, I feel like I'm hoping that not gonna waste. Uh, you know, not exploring other things as well in the TVA. Time travel. What you said, but I really want the characters to explore more of the TVA and specifically the things that you do. But I feel like they're just concentrating on Loki, and then you got the villain. Although I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah, I feel like we're yet to have some proper, emotional character beats. Like, in one of it, like in the first episode, we had this whole, moment where Loki saw his life and he had a bit of a breakdown. We saw his death more accurately. And I really like the idea of him, reacting to that. And I'd like more powerful emotions such as this. We had them in WandaVision, especially towards the end when Wanda and Vision, part. We had it in Falcon Winter Soldier with Bucky's kind of PTSD, and Sam's torment, and especially with Isaiah Bradley.
yeah,
I'd really like to see more of that from Loki. And because the plot is crawling along so much, and because we're getting some really compelling scenes, honestly, of them just talking about the meaning of life and stuff like that, having ethical questions, that's really cool. But the plot hasn't gone, like, it hasn't really progressed over the 3 episodes. The characters are being explored, but it's crawling along, and there's only 6 episodes, and I'm worried.
yeah, yeah. I'm a bit worried now. So hopefully they're going to change the pace. So yeah.
Hopefully so.
What would you give this episode out of 10?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question indeed. I would give it 7, maybe 6. Same as the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
two, really.
yeah. 6. I'm being critical. Yeah, 6. For enjoyment, 7. So
I agree.
yeah,
So same as the
overall,
other two.
yeah. So hopefully they'll change the pace for this one.
I
Yeah.
hope so. Yeah, so
Um.
shall we move on to Fast and
Oh.
Furious number
Oh.
9?
Yes. Number 9.
Fast 9, the Fast Saga. Fast and Furious 9, Furious 9,
Yes.
F9.
Fa-
It has so many
family.
names.
Family.
Family,
Family.
Family, and
Family.
Furious and Fast and 9.
Fam and family and family nine. There's nine families.
It's all about family,
Uh,
John. It's all about family.
power family.
So, like, just very quickly, I think it's just, fair. We haven't, we talked about it on the pod, but we haven't really kind of covered our thoughts on the other Fast and Furious films. Safe to say that we're fans of the franchise.
Yes.
I personally, 7 is my favorite. It's the gold
Yes.
standard. 8
I
wasn't
agree.
as good, and I think all of them are about, like I think 2 is the worst by far,
Yeah.
but like
Um.
they all kind of sit in the 6, 7, 8 out of tens. I think 7 is more of a 9, maybe.
Yeah. But my favorites, like, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are the
Mm.
best ones. Like, 5 really changed it because that was like the really start of the proper Fast and Furious. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they already
like
went into some of the ridiculous stuff and really went with it. And
yeah.
I guess and here we are with 9. It's supposed to come out last year, but here we are. It's out this
Yes.
year. We hit the cinema on Thursday, didn't we, John?
Yes. Oh boy. Uh.
What an experience we had.
Yes.
So what are your
So
thoughts?
I mean, this was my first time going back to the cinema for a while.
Yeah.
Uh, and this was not a great experience.
Mm.
Yeah. So in the theater, in the
Went
cinema.
to went to watch Fast and Furious as a Shakespeare play. It was a theater experience, right?
Oh, oh,
Ian
the
McKellen was
family.
Ian McKellen played John Cena and Patrick Stewart played Vin Diesel. It was magical.
Oh my God.
Really
I mean,
was.
that scene when they go to the moon. Wow.
Oh yeah. Spoilers, by the way. They don't go to the
Uh,
moon, but spoilers.
I'm kidding. I'm doing the Shakespeare thing, but spoilers, yes.
Yeah, remember in
So
Macbeth when they go to the moon?
my thoughts on this film. I was disappointed a bit.
Same. I've been to the
Yeah,
cinema since it opened. I've been to cinema like a lot of times, maybe like 10 times. And I was disappointed, I must say. I really was.
yeah.
You know,
It was, it was a film that I was really looking forward to see.
same.
Because like the Fast and Furious, we watched it like a year ago and we just
We did.
loved
We
them.
watched the first
We
7 films, and we came back last weekend. We watched 8. Haven't watched Hobbs and Shaw, but we watched. We got everything ready.
Yeah, but the one thing that I just really want the film franchise to stop at 7 because that would have been the perfect way to end a franchise.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
other directors had to decided to step in and do something which I didn't want them to do. So
Yeah, we'll I'm sure we'll cover it one day, but I think James Wan brought something really, really good to the franchise. I think it's the most emotionally charged film with the most,
yeah,
character
yeah,
moments with, some of the best action set pieces.
yes.
And
Oh my God, yes, yeah, and
it's I think since then it hasn't it's been less about those emotional moments and more about the action. I mean, when we were in the cinema at the end of the film, as soon as the action finished, about 20 people just got up and left.
yeah,
Like
they thought
that.
the action was over, but no,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
literally the last scene was like the family barbecue scene. And
yeah,
and it was so upsetting because that shouldn't be what the film's about.
yeah. But okay, so it didn't have that magic when watching Fast and Furious because I mean 7, no 6, no 5, 6, 7 were like the best ones to watch. Like if you want to get into it,
Yeah.
and it was the magic, between family. You really connected with the characters. I mean, Brian. Oh my God, Brian! You love the characters so much,
Yeah,
and
the I mean, in so many ways, the Fast and Furious franchise lost something huge when Paul Walker passed away.
Yeah, and
It hasn't been the same since.
I was just looking at like videos of like news report of Paul Walker passed away because I didn't really look into that as much. But I did know he died when I was watching the Seven for the first time,
Mm.
and but now it's just a bit. It hits harder because, oh my god, last year I remember there was a video I sent it to you, but it came out. It Paul Walker's daughter posted a video of no of her and him having fun, like that, having that moment, and it was sad because he passed away, and he
Yeah.
brought that magic. He was
The-
like the real human being. So
yeah.
yeah,
There's a moment at the end of the film, right at the end of the film. Spoilers, of course. They kind of say, "Oh, they're about to say grace," and then Dom says, "Oh no, it's not. We can't say it yet because we're missing one person." And
you
and
turned to
me
me.
and I was like, "No." And Mia says, "Oh yeah, he'll be here in a bit." And then it cuts to this car driving down the road and pulling up, and we thought that they were gonna do, CGI Paul Walker. I was so shocked.
I was like, what? No, no, no,
What
no,
is
they're not gonna do that.
happening? And they didn't do
You're
it.
not. Yeah, they didn't do it,
They didn't
but
do it. I can't believe it.
but I don't know. So, yeah, okay. Let's get into the mess of this film.
Into the
Right,
meat.
right. So the film didn't have. It was a different Fast and Furious film. Let me
It
tell you,
was.
straight off the bat, it was a different one. It didn't have the magic. It didn't have a lot of stuff that really, what made Fast and Furious. But
It
I
yeah,
I appreciate the take, a different direction to it.
I
Like,
mean
I mean,
it did really try. It started with this, flashback of Dom's father's death,
yeah,
And throughout the film, you get these flashbacks to young Dom and young Jacob, and
it was quite
establishing their
jarring.
relationship. It was extremely jarring, and it's so weird because the film wanted to, establish this relationship and present these really emotional moments, but in doing so, you lose the emotions of what is happening, in the actual like ongoing plot. Han's alive, and
Yeah,
we barely we barely get to see anyone reacting to it. People are just
and
like,
it's so
"Oh
annoying.
my god, I knew it." It was like, no, 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 no. You should be like, this should be like a really powerful moment, you know?
They didn't really reacted that. uh, uh, that I wish
Breathe,
they
John.
could have.
Breathe, breathe, buddy.
Okay, okay. I feel like the film is too cluttered with everything that's going on because, especially this problem of that problem of this. Okay, so what felt
Okay,
really
so
out of place was the flashbacks, but I
mm,
appreciate the flashbacks because they felt realistic. It felt what to that, but it didn't really.
it was the only point of character moment, kind of like development in the film, which is good, but like it felt like we barely got any of that from any of the other characters.
Yeah, I feel like we don't get any background to a lot of the characters that we know specifically. I mean, in Too Fast and Furious, we get to see Roman, Brian, Tej, but we don't really, delve deep into the
I mean,
relationships between all these characters.
when we start the film in present day, it starts with um Letty and Dom, together, retired on a farm, and the
Oh
film
yeah,
yeah, remember that the film barely gives this concept any time to breathe. It barely establishes this as an idea before, it's hardly one scene in before, Roman, Tej, and Ramsey arrive, all saying, "Hey, time to get back into the game," and it barely, needs any convincing. It gets straight to it, which I think is
yeah,
really, I was very disappointed by.
yeah.
If
I
you're
feel
gonna do a
like
story where somebody retires and then has to come back to the game. The moment where they come back to the game has to be like a real, they have to be really pushed into it, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like it's there's a film with Clint Eastwood called Unbroken, and it's like an old Western man who's trying to get back into being a gunslinger, and he's like really
Yes.
struggling, like in James Bond in Skyfall. He's really struggling to do these exercises or to do that. I feel like I want to see the limit, to see what Dom has, because I don't
Yes.
feel like Dom has any weaknesses, and I was
Yeah.
really. I mean, he's like basically like Thanos right now.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
God. He's God,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, or Dark Side, but
Ah, yes.
yeah. So with the problem with these films is that they don't really center on the weaknesses of the character, because if we
Yeah.
see the weakness of the character, we feel a bit more aligned with them. We feel a bit, we feel sorry for them. We feel, on an emotional level. I
And
feel like,
that's what I feel Brian brought. He was an everyman. He was,
oh
it
yeah,
it felt like he had, um the weaknesses that you're talking about. It felt like he had the opportunity to, live among Dom is basically just, as you say, he's unstoppable, he's unbeatable, he has literally no weaknesses. Um, there's a point in the film where Dom kind of self-sacrifices himself, and it just feels so flat because you just know that he's going to be fine.
yeah, he's gonna be fine.
And even
And
when it brings back like Han, and Han has never been an unbeatable character. He gets beat up in most of the films. He gets like when everyone else is just like having fights, he's the one who gets his ass handed to him. And he comes back, and it doesn't feel like there's rarely a moment where they're
yeah,
struggling, like really, really struggling. Obviously, there are small moments in the action scenes. There's a cool little action scene in a truck with like the magnets, and
yeah, that was cool.
the whole idea of the magnets is used quite well, but it's boring because it's flat and there's no, you know,
Something
the
really
stakes don't
unique about
feel
it.
like they're
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and the stakes didn't really feel high in this one, because in Seven it was like with Shaw, destroying every bit
Yes.
of the family, like
That
Han.
was, yeah, right. I mean, they basically six established Shaw so well as a villain. He was done so well, and then he literally blows up the main house. If you want, a weakness right there, he hits them right where it hurts. And again, Seven does these things so well.
Yeah,
Nine
and
attempts to build a really good villain through a series of flashbacks, and I love John Cena, man, but John
yeah,
Cena,
John Cena.
he didn't
John
do
Cena's great.
anything.
Yeah, I feel like he was wasted in this film. He didn't have any impact to any. I just feel like with the character, I feel like it was out of place with the flashbacks, because you can see in the flashbacks that he wanted to be a better Toretto. He wanted to be someone else, and
Yeah,
now he's like this street performance, massive army guy. And I felt,
yeah.
what?
He
How
he
did he have that
spends
transition?
he spends the whole film saying, "Oh, this spy stuff, this is my thing." He spends the whole film saying that, and everyone else says to him that you're living in your brother's shadow. And his arc is so confusing because he gets betrayed and he decides to, be good. He decides to like help Dom out.
Oh,
His arc
yeah,
is like half of an arc. It's like they just forgot the second half existed. And it happens in an action scene. There might be one shot of him looking, like thinking about his decision, but like it barely has any time to kind of work. I mean, he's not the only villain in this. You've got Otto. Is he Swedish? The Swedish
but
like
that was his
billionaire.
name. That was his name.
Yeah, his name's Otto.
Otto.
It's like,
I didn't know that was his name. I
right.
thought it
He's
was.
just yeah. He was just there being, like the tech guy being made fun of, and I don't understand why he's there because they literally had Cypher. Cypher
Yeah,
could have done
I
that.
feel like yeah. There's a lot of pointless characters in this film that
Yeah.
didn't really have any impact.
I mean,
And
half of the good guys you could take out.
Yeah,
Like
but yeah,
you barely need Roman and Tej at this point, you know?
but I I really like women, Tej, but
Oh, me
again,
too. But like, their relevancy to the plot, you know, so their roles can be interchanged with so many different people, you know?
yeah, and I feel like with this film, I don't know where this is going, and I'm a bit worried about the two other films or the next other film.
Yeah,
And I'm hoping it will go on a emotional struggle with these characters, and to be very careful of the stuff with the characters, because the characters are the most important things in film, because they're pushing the story, they're pushing the narrative, and they're changing the whole of
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
story. They're changing situations, they're changing things, and you got to be the mind of that. You got to be careful about that as well. So with John Cena's character, it didn't have any impact at all, and
Yeah.
it was pointless to do, because, as you said, the character arc wasn't there. It was confusing, and other pointless characters as well. But if you take time to think about, Dom and the weaknesses that he has, what makes him a Toretto, I don't feel like the film did really spread, you know, the character's motivation, like being a better Toretto, what I mean? But they didn't really expand upon that. At the beginning of the film, they explore about his father, but I feel like that's was wasted about, like, what means to be a Toretto. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Dom never has that change. Whereas, it's kind of presented that maybe he should change. His whole kind of like there's a thing with him where it's like, he kicked his brother out of his family, for a misunderstanding. And that could be a character flaw, but it isn't. Dom isn't. He's, as in all the other films, he's a perfect Superman. He's literally got nothing wrong with him. As again you said, no weaknesses. Um, I do want to kind of switch gears and talk about something that I did genuinely like, that I thought was so ridiculous, but like also amazing at the same time.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I'm talking about right now?
Yes, I do. Like,
Guys, they go to space.
yes, yes.
I don't even know what it was. I
We
mean,
Okay. I remember specifically in the cinema where we just looked at each other and going, "What the
like,
heck?"
what is that? Like, it was. So first of all, they brought back the crew from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which was so cool. That was probably my favorite scene in the film, when they were testing out the rocket car.
Okay,
And
yeah,
the funniest moment where they said, Dom Toretto sent us, and they all turn around dramatically and just go, who's that who's Dom Toretto? It was hilarious. I thought that was amazing.
yeah. And yeah, I love that. And I don't know why. Uh, what was this actor? What was this actor? He was in Tokyo Drift. He was the main character.
Lucas
Uh,
Black.
yeah, Lucas. Yeah, I feel like he was a bit different in this one. He wasn't.
Oh, well, it's weird. It's weird because Tokyo Drift was like 2008, I think, maybe something like that. And Fast and Furious 7 was 2013, I think. Um, and no, 2013 doesn't sound right. Um, but like, and this is obviously 2019, I think, when they filmed it. But it's like, he is aged, man. Okay, so Tokyo Drift was in 2006, and then
Yes.
Fast and Furious 7 was in 2015. So already 9 years in between those two, and then another like 4 years. He's like aged, and he's still supposed to be like in his early 20s. I don't know how old he
Oh God, that
is,
would be awkward. Oh no.
but like he's supposed to be like in his early 20s or something. So yeah, I definitely, yeah, he's 38 years old, and he's supposed to be like in his early, like 20s, maybe mid 20s, something like that. It was bonkers, but I loved seeing them back. And when they went to space, it was crazy, man.
Yeah. But it was a ridiculous film. But okay, there was the weirdest thing that the film it just is self-aware. Like the characters,
Yes.
Roman and Tej, they're just talking about like the craziest things that we've done. And the one thing that really, really confused me was when there was like smoke, like bullet marks or like gunshot
Yeah,
on
bullet
his
holes in his
costume.
jacket.
Yeah, I was like, what? What is the film telling them that they're basically gods?
Yeah, there was this whole scene where Roman was like, "We're basically invincible," and I'm like it was such a strange thing. Well, obviously, yeah, they're poking fun at themselves, but it was such a strange thing to acknowledge because it's like, yeah, you really like do get away with everything. I don't know how. It's ridiculous. It's mad. Um, I thought that when they're in space, right? And they
Yeah,
realize that they can't take out the satellite. And Roman does this monologue. He's like, we're not invincible, and we've got to save our friends, and it's like sad music, like while like you watch like Dom like get into this like armored truck, and like we watch everyone, and it's like really like emotional music, and like it's like in slow motion, and they like shoot through the thing, and I thought they were gonna kill Roman and Tej, man. I really thought they were gonna die.
yeah. I actually thought they were gonna die. You could have heard me in the cinema going, no, no,
Yeah, I did. I
no.
did. I heard you, and I was like, "This is not happening. They're not about to do this." And they didn't, obviously, but like, I feel like maybe if one of them died,
I it wouldn't
that
fit
might
the
have been really
film. It wouldn't.
emotional.
It wouldn't fit the entire film because like the film is just so cluttered back with the flashbacks with
Mm.
Han and especially with the woman, the girl who can control
Yeah.
yeah,
The MacGuffin of the film is this thing that can shut down all the electricity, like in a city or something. In the world or something. It can scramble all the. I can't remember. And the key is this girl who Han was sent to kill her parents, no, steal from her parents, and he ended up raising her. So Han has had like a adopted daughter this whole time.
yeah, and yeah, it's a bit confusing. So
It is, and I didn't. I mean, I think my least favorite part from Fast and Furious 8 was their Cypher. I don't like Cypher as a character.
oh god, Cypher
I
is
mean,
not a great character.
Charlize Theron is an amazing actress, but she whispers every single line. She just kind of
It's
speaks like
annoying.
this, and she's kind of like, "Oh, Dom,
Can someone tell
brother
Charlie
versus brother. This is
There's
gonna."
to be different? Do not whisper because
It's
that's
like she,
when
it's like she's gonna fall asleep, and obviously they're building her up to be this big bad guy. Like she's got like a kind of she's the main antagonist in 8. She's a secondary antagonist in 9. I thought they'd killed her at one point. They pulled an Iron Man 3 on us and had her like flying a drone that gets exploded. That was
yeah.
mad. But like, yeah, so she's alive. So I guess that's what's gonna happen in 8. They're gonna fight Cypher again.
Yeah.
Yay.
So the film itself is a bit of a mess, but
Mm,
there was some really moments. There was great moments that I realized.
I agree.
Uh,
The action was great. Every
yeah, the
action
action was great.
scene, I had so much fun. They were
Yeah,
fast, they were furious, and that's all I need. Like that. Those moments were definitely the highlights of the film.
yeah, and I wish there was like a lot more things to explore, like between the relationship between the relationship between Dom and uh wait, what was his name?
Whose
Oh,
name?
Jacob. Jacob,
Jacob.
sorry. Dom and Jacob,
You know the guy, the brother, the main like the guy who was supposed to care about for some reason.
that guy. Yeah. So I wish that they look into the story more rather than the action, because I feel like that's the main problem with Hollywood, that they're looking at the action, which I appreciate, because today I was looking at well, if they do more practical, I was watching a YouTube video on Fast and Furious, and I'll send a link to you right now, Tom, because
All right.
this was shown in Fast and Furious 9.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, sorry, Fast and Furious 5. They kind of sound like the same. Sorry, what? Come on, where's the? Oh my god,
Yeah,
where's the link?
fast five, fast nine. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, here we go. So with this one, this whole section in Fast and Furious was completely so hard to do, and this was entirely real. Uh,
Really? Wow.
yeah,
Wait, the whole for those of you who don't know that this is the scene where they drag the vault through Brazil, I think it is.
yeah,
Yeah, that's mad. I mean, the stunts that they do, you know, the 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 car stunts are incredible. And there's never a dull moment whenever they're driving. And obviously that's like the stuff that half the people clearly what half the people come to the film for. So like, because in the cinema, people were on their phones when it wasn't action, you know? Like this is
yeah.
like literally what people come for. And obviously, like, it's cool that everyone enjoys it. And we were in a packed cinema. First time like I've been in a cinema that packed since like I don't know, like Rise of Skywalker, right? Late 2019. Um, so that's all really cool. In Fast and Furious 8, when all the cars are like falling,
Yes,
that
yes.
was practical too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
really?
that was all practical.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, I got give appreciation to it's so hard to do, and they're trying to do something on a different level. So
Mm.
I gotta give tops to that. But with the problem is that there was a lot of a little bit of oversaturation with this film, and I felt like that it was showing the film, the characters to be very invincible. Uh, Invincible. Yes.
Yeah, they were very
And
splat.
yeah, just yeah. The film just felt very flat. But there was some good moments. It was there. Yeah.
It was better than Fast and Furious 8.
Very.
Um,
Oh yes, it is. It is.
and better than Too Fast, Too Furious. So, but like I feel like I might have had the least fun with this than any other Fast and Furious film. I feel like I enjoyed every single other one more, which is really sad.
Mm. So I'm hoping that the next film won't do anything too cluttered, because I want something to focus on one thing
Hmm.
and not to be focused on other things, like with some side problems as well, not to make excuses for these characters. So,
Definitely. So,
oh, and one
oh, go on.
confusing thing is Mr. Nobody. What happened to him? Is he dead? Is he gone
Yeah,
somewhere?
yeah, I mean, that must have been something that they're leaving for Fast and Furious 10. But like, yeah, where did he go? Also, what happened to Little Nobody? Like this series never leaves a stone unturned. Every single character has come back. Their fates have been explained to everyone. What happened to Little Nobody? Like, if Mr. Nobody's plane was hijacked, and there wasn't any like dead bodies or anything, are all these people like being held captive? And I feel like we should probably address the post-credit scene as well.
Oh yes, the post-credit scene.
uh Shaw has Otto, right? It was Otto, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, he has him and he's like beating him up and he gives him this drive. What was on the drive? I can't remember.
I don't know. It was boxing.
Yeah,
Boxing. It was.
he was like he was giving him a little bit of a hit. Otto was tied in like in a punching bag, and he gives him like this file that has like this data on it, and then Han arrives, and it's very ominous. Do you think that Han is after whatever is on the file? Does he want revenge on Otto for trying to kill Han's adopted daughter, or do you think Han is out for revenge on Shaw? What do you think?
I'm wondering, is there going to be like a huge fight scene at the beginning of 10? Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe.
Well, I didn't
Yes.
know. I thought that they were now kind of doing Hobbs and Shaw, and then Hobbs and Shaw weren't going to be in Fast and Furious anymore. But apparently not.
Yeah. Um. hmm. So I'm wondering what's going to happen next for these
Well,
films.
I'll tell you what happens next.
Oh
Vin
no!
Diesel wants to have a Fast and Furious musical. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wait,
And
what?
Vin Diesel has made songs. So Vin Diesel, imagine Fast and Furious the musical.
Oh my god.
That sounds insane.
Okay, okay. It works. I'm going to say this off the bat. It works because if you think about it, in musical, it's more expressionistic. Yes,
I've been
yeah,
thinking about it literally all day.
that would
It's
work.
bonkers. It's
Oh, oh
bonkers.
my god! Oh my god! I've got a song already. I've got a song. Family,
Oh no.
family, come
Oh
and get me,
no.
family. Come and
I
save
mean, they
me.
would literally make a Fast and Furious musical and sing "See You Again," wouldn't they? They would. They
They would
must.
at the end. They will go sit down, say grace, and they will sing "See You Again."
Yeah, man. Oh God. Right. So, final thoughts. What are you giving this film out of 10?
5.
Same. I agree. Boom.
Wow.
Clear and
Okay, that's it.
concise.
That's it. So
Right.
yes,
Let's move on to the weekly viewing segment, shall we?
yes, please.
You tired there?
Fast and Furious family.
Woo! It's
Yes.
all about family, man. It's all about
Oh
family.
no, I'm gonna be thinking about that musical, man.
I know. Once you hear it, you need it, you know? Right. So, what have you watched this week? Tell me.
Okay, be prepared.
Be
Put this on screen.
prepared.
On
Is it for the
screen.
death of
Boom,
the
boom, boom, boom.
king?
No.
Oh,
3, 2, 1. Final Crisis. Boom.
boom.
Right. So, Final Crisis. This one was a very exciting read and a confusing one. So, as I said, I've been reading all the Crises comics that I've been reading.
Crises.
Crisis on Infinite Earth, uh, Infinite Crisis, and you've got Final Crisis. So these are very important to the whole DC storyline as
Mm.
well, especially to Flashpoint, Doomsday Clock, and Metal. So these are the most important things as well. And they bring out the most fatal and dramatic things in DC history, especially in Crisis on Infinite Earths, because that was shocking and it really changed the whole game or the whole thing for DC. So yeah, because it introduced the multiverse. So let me talk about DC Final Crisis. So this one was a bit confusing because there wasn't a lot of context to from what's happening really, but you do get an idea of what's happening. But as I said, there was some confusing points in the comic, so I'm not gonna spoil it because it's very hard to talk about. But those really good moments that I really liked, and I feel like this is the comic where Zack Snyder got his inspiration from. for the Justice League
For
Snyder Cut.
the Nightmare.
No,
Okay.
maybe no,
Ah,
but it's for the other characters as well, I
okay.
believe. For like Dark Side, and other characters as well,
I see.
which I'm not. Sorry.
I see.
Yes, I see.
I
Yes.
see everything.
Ah!
It's so
So
late. But by the way, guys, it's so late at night at the moment.
I'm so sorry.
We're dying to bring this to you.
Okay, so
Slightly less than
uh
1080p.
okay. So with this
No.
no, oh, are
Sorry,
you okay?
my cushion fell, John. My cushion. I'm losing my
Because I've been talking
sanity.
so
I'm losing my
intensely.
sanity. My cushion's
Uh
gone. Sorry,
uh
please continue.
so with this whole storyline, it is so fascinating because it wasn't too cluttered, and it was a big read as well. And but I feel like there was some really good moments that I really liked. But it wasn't the same as Infinite Crisis, which I'm glad, because Infinite Crisis was a bit of a it was too cluttered. It wasn't really exploring a lot of things. But Final Crisis, I feel like it did. There was characters that I really liked that uh impacted the whole thing, and it was well balanced with the characters. You got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. No, sorry, the Trinity, the trilogy, the whole
The
thing.
Holy Trinity,
So
the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost,
yes,
Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
I
Well,
feel like
it's interesting because it sounds like it draws parallel to the Dark Knight Returns trilogy, meaning, the first one's great, the second one's bad, the third one's pretty good.
yeah. So
The
with
pain.
this, yeah, it was well balanced, and there was one moment that I really loved, uh, uh, especially with Batman's. There's a really good thing with Batman as well that I really liked. The writing I really like. I really liked the writing in this as well. I thought it was well creative. It wasn't the same level as Scott Snyder, but it felt entertaining to read. You know, the stuff, the writing in this, and there was a lot of context I missed. But the reason why there wasn't a lot of context because I don't have the omnibus for I don't know how to say it for Final Crisis, because Final Crisis omnibus,
There's always an omnibus every
yes,
time.
yes, there's an
Every damn
omnibus,
time.
and apparently there's a lot more context in that
Ah,
to
are
what's
you
happening.
are you going to get the omnibus then?
I don't know.
Hmm.
It's a big of a read.
Hmm.
So, and there wasn't a lot of space on my shelf, and I'm realizing because it has Infinite Crisis as well, the
I
omnibus.
I see.
Yeah. So I don't want to get the same comic
No,
again.
no.
So I have the problem of like, should I go on YouTube to find out the context, or should I just don't? So this was a problem for me when I was reading death metal, because death metal had a lot of stuff that happening between the first one and the second one. So
Well, I
I've
mean,
been
death metal is one of your favorites, isn't it?
yes, death metal is in my top five because it was such a amazing read.
Well, I'm
And
interested because obviously, like your favorites, obviously a lot of Scott Snyder. Last Night on Earth is one of your favorites as well, right?
Last Night on Earth. Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
body. Where would you kind of say? Would you say that the Final Crisis is on those same levels?
Yes, but if
Oh,
I if I had the context, yes, but for my first read, I think it was deeply explored, which I liked, because with comics it doesn't really explore a lot of things, but comics like Flashpoint or Last Night on Earth, but I don't know, but or like the new 52 one, like the whole thing that really needs to be explored, because that's how superheroes, comic book things, they really explore more of the character, and I really like this one. But I wish there was a lot more depth to the characters. there were some characters that needed to go through, unless there's in the context of uh in the omnibus or something. So yeah, but there were some bits that were confusing. But there was a great moment as well at the end with the Green Lanterns. So yeah, yeah, it's a very exciting moment, that one. But the front cover,
Well, I
you'll
mean,
see.
speaking of, because I think this is like basically the prelude to. You say it was in 2009.
Yes, this was
So
written in 2009.
right,
Oh,
so
drawing.
it would be just before they did, Blackest Day, Brightest Night, in
Yeah.
Green Lantern. So what you're probably referring to is probably the prelude to that. Oh, Blackest Night, Brightest Day, should I say?
Yes, but Brightest Day and Blackest Night are the aftermath, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'll be reading that because that's the one thing that's after it.
Mm.
And yeah, so with this comic, there was a lot of it's the most crisis comic that you could think of, but Crisis on Infinite Earths is a bit more catastrophic if you look into it. But this one did go nearly on the terms of catastrophic in Crisis, but it really introduced, the tensions that was raised, and yeah. So it's definitely in my top 10 comics.
Oh, good.
So
Good to hear.
it's a great read. But Crisis on Infinite Earths is in my top five.
Oh,
Um, yeah.
wow.
So if you really want to, get started on the DC history, I would recommend getting Crisis on Infinite Earths. But if you really want to, I mean, if you want to read Infinite Crisis, yeah, do. If you want to get entertained more of it, but more of the
Yeah,
characters.
I found Crisis on Infinite Earths not focused enough. It didn't really it sounds like Final Crisis is better because it was but because it's like focused on the Trinity. But I felt like
Yeah,
Crisis on Infinite Earths, it doesn't really focus on anyone, and because of that, it felt very, cluttered.
yeah. But this one, it wasn't too cluttered, which I really liked,
That's good.
because it's more focused on the Trinity as well, and I feel like it's more focused on some characters as well, which were more important to the story, and it just works really well. So Grant Morrison, yeah. I was looking. Oh, the one thing that was really annoying is that it didn't really follow the story from the two other crises. I mean, returning characters or something, but it did have one huge uh returning character, I think, or other characters as well.
I thought you said, honestly, I thought you just said it had one huge carrot. This is just like is in the heat of battle, and then like Batman just sees from like over the hill like a giant carrot that comes and saves the day.
Yeah.
Multiverse.
But yeah. But on terms of Crisis, this was a very interesting Crisis as well, because you on the front cover, spoilers if you haven't seen the front cover that's on the screen right now, Batman's dead. So
What?
yeah. Oh my
No,
god.
he's dead.
Yeah. But uh, if if you heard me talking about other Batman stuff, the new 52 is also connected with Final Crisis, I think.
So yeah, I think New 52 is a product of the crises and Flashpoint.
Yes, and I really like that. I like how comics, fill up the story of how to make it refreshing, and the ways to connect it. Because Scott Snyder, oh my god, he did it really well with the new 52. So yeah. What
I agree.
else? Yeah, I really liked it. There was great characters. It wasn't too cluttered. It was well focused, and it really had a really good, strong introduction to Darkseid. But Darkseid was introduced in Crisis, and yeah. But this one was more focused on him as well, and what his intentions were. So I'm hoping uh, there was other context to Final Crisis as well. So I'm going to be looking that on YouTube and see if I can listen to see the whole thing. But I would give it a 10, obviously,
Ooh,
because it's in top 10.
high
Uh,
praise.
High praise. But yeah, I really liked it. It was a great, enjoyable read, but it was confusing because I needed some context as well.
Mm.
But it wasn't too confusing because I picked up where it was going.
Yeah, that
But
I feel like that happens in when you're reading like comics that have a lot of backstory. You know, you kind of pick it up as you go along.
yeah, so I'm hoping I'll look and see some context, and I go, right, okay, so I have a better understanding because apparently there's a countdown to Final Crisis.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
nice,
yeah, that's it. That's it for me. I
brilliant,
don't have a lot to talk about, so yeah, that's it.
awesome. Well, I'll round it out. Give a couple things that I've watched. I went to the cinema this week. Couple of times actually. I went to see 5 films. I'm not going to talk about all 5 of them. I already talked about Fast and Furious. Maybe in the weeks to come, I'll talk about the other 2 films I watched. I watched In the Heights and I watched Supernova. I'll talk about them maybe next week. I don't know. But what I did watch is I did a double bill. The first of the double bill was Cruella, uh, a new Disney film about Cruella de Vil, starring Emma Stone. And I was pretty excited for this film. Disney live action stuff recently is based off pre-season content is fine generally, but I love Emma Stone and I love the idea of this film. And I think the first half was really, really strong. It had it was like this kind of this simple kind of like uh mix between kind of like the Devil Wears Prada and a very sanitized version of Joker. People comparing this film to Joker in kind of very, very slightly. But it's got this kind of revenge plot through fashion, and it was really, really cool. It became very convoluted. The film was really dragged down by how convoluted it was. It was very overstuffed. It overcomplicated things so much of the time, which is a real shame because, it doesn't need to overcomplicate things. Cruella de Vil doesn't even really need a backstory. She's evil, and that's all you really need to know. And it just kind of made itself way too complicated. Uh, I mean, and it's a bit long as well. You could kind of like take out a good like half an hour chunk of it. And it would clean up a lot better. And it's a shame because the last Disney live action film was Mulan, and that was real, real bad. So
Oh
it's
my
not,
god,
it's
yeah.
not, yeah, right. It's not quite that bad, thankfully, but it's not as good as I kind of would have hoped it would have been. So it's not necessarily what one might describe as a return to form, but it was definitely better than Mulan. And yet the second half got so kind of wrapped up in itself. And it felt like every character apart from Cruella was underdeveloped. So none of the emotional moments hit as much as they could have, but it was very it tried to do some really good things, and it could have succeeded if it didn't, if it kind of held itself back a little bit and kept simplicity, which I think would have been a lot more successful. So yeah, I think it was good, but not quite as good as it wanted to be. The second film I watched, so straight after Cruella, about like a minute after I left, I went back in and watched A Quiet Place Part Two. And
Ah,
now this is a film that isn't overcomplicated. It sticks to the concept of the original, which is really good. Oh, Cruella, 6 out of 10, by the way. Forgot about that.
oh,
I,
cool.
I mean, if you're going to see it at the cinema, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. But if you have a cinema card, whether that be a limitless card or an unlimited card, yeah, I'd say why not go check it out. But yeah, Quiet Place 2 was a lot more focused. It was a little bit needlessly convoluted when it didn't have to be. It introduces some new concepts that don't need to be there. I don't think. I think you stick with the main things from the first film. that's when it works best. John Krasinski is so good at what he's doing in these films. He writes and directs them so well. I didn't feel like I needed a sequel to the original, and in some ways I still don't, and I definitely don't need a sequel to this film. But I feel like it's the natural progression of all the characters. Everything makes sense. The opening sequence specifically stands out as a really good one, especially since it's completely different to anything else we've seen. And it's just good to be seeing horror films back at the cinema. Last horror film I saw at the cinema, I think, was Invisible Man, another great film of last year. And I think Quiet Place really was enhanced by that experience. It was terrifying when it needed to be, and really, effective. And I'm really happy about that. Yeah, I had loads of fun with that one. And so much stronger, kept exactly what it needed to be, didn't overstay its welcome, but it was a little bit overstuffed. It introduced some stuff that I was like, you could have taken that out and it wouldn't have detracted from the experience. There's a kind of a moment, the plot kind of reaches its climax and then goes back down, and then creates another climax. And I feel like you could take out that first climax. There's really no point of it being there. So yeah, I think Quiet Place 2, definitely recommend it if you like the first film. If you want a good experience at the cinema, 8 out of 10. Definitely one of the best films seen at cinemas so far this year. And yeah, that's me. So you say you have nothing else to talk about?
What? I don't know, man. It's just been a bit busy this
Well,
week.
that's all right. I mean, honestly, we're going to be recording two episodes a week from now. So save up what you've watched. We'll use it later on, and we
Yeah,
can finish there because I'm getting so tired right now.
yeah, same. Yeah. So thank you for listening in for our podcast. I know it's been a bit late as usual. So
No, not
yeah,
not as
thank you.
usual. Normally we get out bright and early, but not this week. I
Not
blame
this week.
myself. I was busy yesterday. I'm so
I was
sorry.
busy today as well,
Yeah,
so
it's bad timing, but we're hopefully we'll have it out on the Sunday. If you listen to this on the Monday, hope you're having
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Well,
Thank you for listening.
yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Next week we're talking about Black Widow's MCU journey. We're going to be talking about, before Black Widow comes out, we're going to be talking about everything that Black Widow has done before
At
in the
the
MCU. So we're
start,
going to
the whole thing. Yes.
everything. We're going to be going from Iron Man to Avengers, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. We're going to throw all seven full spoilers. Going through what worked and what didn't about Black Widow before we go and see Black Widow in a couple weeks' time. So yeah, send us questions for that ahead of time, or just questions or comments about this at our email. You can email us outsignfilmpod at gmail. I'm gonna die. outsignfilmpod@gmail.com, or get in touch with us on Twitter and Instagram at outsignfilmpod. Like and subscribe if you had fun. I think I'm losing my voice as well. This is horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay. Let me take over. You
take
feel
over,
so tired.
please. I'm gonna sleep.
Yeah. So be safe. Wear a mask and wash your hands because it's those times.
I'm getting
COVID.
vaccinated tomorrow. Woo!
Hey. So
Yeah,
if
get vaccinated
you're
if you can.
if you're 18 or older, please do vaccinate because we're getting there. We're getting there.
The cinemas are back. Let's not get the cinemas closed again.
Yes, please. We want the cinemas to be open because it's a church.
It
We
is.
go
Do you want to know something really upsetting?
what?
Originally, the Batman was going to release on
Uh, uh,
Friday.
uh, uh,
I know. I know. It's gonna be all right, man. Oh, I've got to wait for so long to see it.
oh no! Oh my god!
Man, so
Oh,
sad.
and by the way, I'm still traumatized from that red fox thing. What was it? Red panda?
Red Panda. Well, how can you be? It's beautiful. It's amazing. How
Oh
dare
my
you?
god!
It's
There's a
amazing.
concept art right now from Disney saying, "Oh, we're so happy to say that the
Yes.
film's going to be released in 2022. Oh my god, we're
Yes,
going
I
to
saw that. Yes. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Oh boy, it's going to be like a fever dream.
Oh
All right.
boy, yeah. So
Now, yes.
Please
But
take us out, John. Take us out. Take us out
all
for a
right.
lovely meal and tip the waiter.
Take us. What? Right. Take what you're given.
Give nothing back.
Heck yeah. Goodbye.
Goodbye.